Hi, it's Christy from Utah.gov. Redoing the background again. So today the new Utah.gov website launched. Today it is the state government website portal, and I'm kind of excited about it. I'd like to give you a tour and some of the highlights in my opinion. I've been focusing a lot lately personally on state government websites because some of them are really cutting edge now, and I'd like to learn all I can. I was recently asked to be a part of the team that is redoing the Nevada state website, and so again I'm trying to learn all I can. So the Utah.gov state government portal actually is the newest version, or the most recent as of yesterday. It was actually relatively new. They redesigned in, I believe it was 2009, and at the time they were, just hailed as being cutting edge, and they just had a beautiful design, and the navigation. They were experimenting in location-based services, and they just won dozens of awards with this site. But as of today, they've launched a new design and some new features, so let's take a look. So one word came to my mind when I looked at the new Utah.gov site, and that is the S word. That's right, search. It was dramatic. Their thought is go bold or go home. It actually reminded me of the focus on search with the newer Texas.gov site. Remember that? But in the Texas.gov case, it was so white, so stark, and it reminded me of, kind of like a doctor's office. But when you look at Utah.gov site, in contrast, there's, beautiful imagery. There's that warmth. It makes me think of outdoors and adventure. So it's a different approach to it, and I liked it in the Utah.gov case. So you type some search words in there. So let's search for education. Instead of just seeing a list of search results like you would on any other site, you can see related services to education, related forms, regular search results. But here's what they did really cool. They took search to the extreme. In the results, if there's a state agency that relates to the search term you put in, you see a little mini map with pinpoints leading to and directions leading to that state agency. They even went beyond that. If the agency that relates to that search term has a Twitter account, they pull in the Twitter feed, the latest tweet from that account. They also did the same thing with YouTube videos. I'd like to know how the YouTube video indexing works. Are they actually indexing the YouTube.com website for those related videos, or somehow in their content management system are they just tagging those videos that relate to that particular search term? I'd like to know a little bit more about that, but either way, it's pretty darn cool. So why the big focus on search? Well, the team behind Utah.gov says that was the #1 thing that people were doing on their website was searching. It was almost double the next biggest thing that people were doing on their website, which really makes me wonder, what was the next biggest thing? I don't know. But anyway, so search was important, and they really highlighted it. But while search is cool, in my opinion, what steals the cake is their location-based functions of the website. Their website knows where you are. I tried to check it and plug in my zip code from here in the city of Reno, and it knew I wasn't from around there. It actually suggested that I take a tour and look around because it knew that I was out of state, or pick a city to learn more about. So anyway, you select a city, or it recognizes that you're from the city, and you can see different locations in that city. You can see meetings that are happening within your city, within your area, and you can also even look at local jobs that are available in that particular city. So location-based functions, quite cool. And the same thing happens when you visit the mobile Utah.gov site as well. It recognizes your location and asks if you'd like to save that for the future. So the site is really cool. I do have a little bit of feedback. There are areas on the site where they collect user-submitted content, which is actually a pretty cool feature. You don't usually get that citizen to government type submitting information on a site. So that part is neat. What does that mean? Well, the citizen can submit YouTube videos if they're related to Utah in some sort of fashion, photos, blogs, even Google Maps that they've created that they want to contribute back to the Utah.gov website. I think that's really cool. I think the only thing is if they provided a little bit more elaboration on what happens after the citizens submit those things. Is it vetted? Are they screened through some sort of process, and then, you know, where can you retrieve them at? Just a little more information on what happens once you submit that to the government. But at any rate, it was a pretty cool feature. Also, they have a really non-traditional navigation pattern to the site. In general, when you go to a government site, what do you see? You see the main navigation, and you see the sidebar. The sidebar is usually on the left. The main navigation is either at the top or within a third down on the page. So with their non-traditional navigation, I could see them getting feedback that maybe once you navigate around that you're not exactly clear how you wound up at the destination you're at. I saw that they had a use of breadcrumbs in there, but I could still see it happening. Although maybe it will become the new norm and we'll all copy it and we'll do it on our government sites, and you know, people just get it and they'll get used to that type of intuitive navigation, but not that standard 2 levels that we're used to seeing. Who knows? Also, I thought that the initial view on the homepage was the only content available on the homepage. It wasn't until sometime later that I realized that you can actually scroll down on the homepage to see additional content, and then when you scroll to a certain point, the footer navigation actually pops up, and then you have all these different footer elements. I just didn't realize they were there. So how much does all this cost? Well, I do know that the state of Utah has partnered with NIC. It's a company that's been around for a long time, and they work with governments at all levels to create these online services, online portals and features, and they have a self-funded e-government approach. So what does that mean? It basically means that citizens sort of pay as you go. So instead of taking a big chunk of budget money out to pay for these online services, citizens pay as you go. So as they perform a transaction online, they pay a tiny convenience fee, and it all adds up. Reminds me of Superman 4. I think it was Superman 4, where basically all these half cents added up, and then they had a big pot of money. And with that big pot of money, you can afford to self-sustain that site and keep those e-government services rolling. So it's a unique approach. It's a good approach. But actually, NIC has worked with a couple of dozen states and partnered with them for their online portals. So it's definitely a company to keep in mind. Well, the new Utah.gov website is pretty awesome. So where do they go from here? Well, they might consider further integrating all agencies, all the state agencies, under the one Utah.gov template. For instance, if you do a business license search right now, if you follow through, you wind up on a business registration page that really has no connection with the design or the navigation of the main portal site. Now, it is a massive undertaking to take all state agencies and put them under one common template. They might take a lead from the folks at CA.gov, the State of California website. What they did was they put together a public website called Web Tools that's specifically to assist the webmasters at state agencies in following template standards. It was pretty cool at the time. They're trying to keep it updated. There's so much more than I could cover in this little video on the new Utah.gov website. I applaud them all for a job well done. It's exciting to see. I'm looking forward to exploring around on it more. I invite you to explore. Make sure and give them feedback, give me feedback. Everyone wants to hear from you. So till next time, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe at youtube.com/govgirlblog, and take care. I like the pillows.